hard, or go home. Touchdown like the end zone. When the circle turn to my home, can't get me out of my zone. Go hard, or go home. Go hard, or go home. Yeah, these championship rings on my hands now. In my head I'm top 10, yeah, that's hands down. In the squad, now you're looking man down. Funny how foes turn to friends now. Drive a race car like a Atari now. Call filling up, I need product again. Treat the business like a playground, might slide on you. Don't me wrong, might slide on you. Do a backflip, cause I'm mad rich. I'm the definition of what that is. Go hard, or go home. 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 Touchdown like the end zone. When the circle turn to my home, can't get me out of my zone. Go hard, or go home. Go hard, or go home. I'm a warrior, I go back to back, they go back to back. If I top the top, then the double back, and I'm topping that. Yeah, I beat my own records. Yeah, I gotta get money fetish. Same team, I don't set trip. Never dull, this electric. Went and put the Ricks on my toes. Me and bro, that's the give and go. Stay 100, end zone. Keep them coming. I know. I won't flood my wrist, no, I'm not dumb like that. No. I just wanna give my mama 100 racks. Go hard, or go home. 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 Touchdown like the end zone. When the circle turn to my home, can't get me out of my zone. Go hard, or go home. Go hard, or go home.
NathanIvey.com. Mr. Ivy know the show must go on. And for Cincinnati, man, I put on. Tunes made another flame beat for me to cook on. Raised dogs, close fish, yeah, too strong. Team AI, chop it up at the chop shop. Top notch with the king flow, the hot shot. Cop squats in, listen to the real. Jumping like hopscotch, nobody harder than, oh, no, think not. Not only citywide, but nationwide. Superlative, keep it locked like them Haitian guys. Put the truth in the airwaves, we talk about it. Brand new like the templates, let's be about it. Who got the info about it? Hey yo, Jono be the rapper, got them jamming when they play him. Staying in my lane, they ain't gotta okay him. Who the host with the scoop? Yeah, they gon' say him. Ivy, so superlative like a bag of Drippos. Show you where the bricks at, Cincinnati Reds at. One where my people at. Team NI where my people at. It's the 513, yeah, you know the flow. What's the word, Nate? Let them know the show. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at.
Good morning to you. Welcome back. Let's get back to it. Good morning. It is a beautiful Wednesday. Great to be with you. And I'm broadcasting live somewhere from a secret location somewhere in the greater Cincinnati area. Good morning to you. It is beautiful outside. I've kind of changed the office around, so I'm facing the window now. So I've got a great view of the nature, and I'm feeling good. Good morning to you. Hope you're feeling well as well. Hope these flows find you in a good place. Lots of things to talk about this morning, including I want to talk about Chris Tucker and the Friday franchise just a little bit this morning, or perhaps it might expand into a longer conversation. I want to get your thoughts about this. We now know why Chris Tucker decided to not return to the Friday franchise. There might have been multiple reasons, but he recently did an interview in which he talked about some things that he said he'd never revealed before. And I don't know about you, but I remember going to the movie theater to see the original Friday movie. I thought it was super dope. I thought it was very, very interesting. And in terms of the culture, it's one of those movies that people they continue to reference to this day. Very culturally relevant. And if you've never seen the movie, it's titled Friday. It's actually a franchise. Here's a scene of it right here, the cover art. And it was hilarious. At the time, I wasn't even smoking weed or anything like that. I was straight vanilla with it. So I really couldn't identify with everything, but I still found some things to get some chuckles out of it, right? Very, very interesting. But now Chris Tucker has revealed why he never returned to the Friday franchise. And I think he's talked about it before, but he's never revealed this little bit of information, which I thought was quite interesting, as I said before. And I want to get your thoughts on it. If you want to share your thoughts this morning, feel free to do so at 513-873-7134. Again, I want to say thank you to all the well wishers. A lot of folks have reached out to me, after the passing of my mother and shared their thoughts. I even got a few, I won't call them, it wasn't hate or anything like that, but some people didn't like one of my flows I delivered yesterday. And I got a couple of DMs afterward, which is always interesting. You can always tell when you touch people by how they react to certain things. Thought it was quite interesting. So I might remix that conversation from yesterday. If you were here for it, you caught the tail end of the show. I stand by what I said, though. I stand by what I said. I thought about it some more afterward. I'm like, what? This is what? Nah, we ain't doing that. But there is a YouTube channel and podcast called Flix Talk, FLIX. It's a film and culture podcast. And they had Chris Tucker on, and he revealed as to why he didn't continue to be featured in the Friday franchise. And it was a Friday franchise that made him a star in the first place. And just hands up, by show of hands, raise your hand if you're like a Chris Tucker like fan, if that's the right word. Maybe you don't use the word fan or whatever, but you really enjoy his work over the years. I know I did. He did a whole bunch of dope little movies that I thought were really, really fun and interesting. And when he didn't return, I remember after the first Friday, I couldn't wait for the second one. I think they did 3 of them, right? And including like a Christmas theme one, which was a lot of fun as well. If you like that kind of humor, strictly for adults. And I remember thinking, I can't wait to see him in the second one because I thought he just made the movie, right? And shout out to Ice Cube for being so multi-talented, man. Our people are talented on so many different levels. So shout out to both of those men. And even to this day, I love to see Chris Tucker come back updated. That'd be crazy fun. But Chris Tucker revealed in a recent interview, as I said earlier, he was talking with some folks over at Flix Talk, and he said that the reason why he didn't make a second one is because of the weed. He said he felt like he didn't want to be a part of promoting weed and weed smoking in our community because he thought it was overall detrimental. And I thought, wow, it's very admirable for the brother to think like that. Quote, man, that movie became a phenomenon. I don't want everybody smoking weed. I never really told people this because I kind of forgot it, but it was one of the reasons why I didn't do it. I don't want to represent everyone smoking weed. I kind of made it more personal than a movie, and that was one of his reasons. Like, people speculated it was because of money. He became a big star, and then the Friday franchise couldn't afford him. That could have been a factor. But he also said that it was because of his feelings about weed. And I'm like, wow, I applaud the brother, if that's how he feels about it. Can a movie make people smoke weed? Sure it can. You got impressionable minds out there. They're watching the movie. It seems like it's so much fun. People are like, well, damn, if Smokey having so much fun, if they having all this fun and it's not hurting them, I might try too and, be along with the fun. So I could definitely see that. Almost definitely. But is weed that big of a problem in our community? I don't know. And again, our sensibilities about weed smoking has changed. That movie came out 20-some years ago. Like, now this shit is legal. Lord forgive me for my brash delivery. Now, weed is legal in a lot of states, recreationally. I mean, hell, in the city of Ohio, you can have up to 100 grams and not get caught. Not get caught, but not get ticketed with no legal punishments whatsoever. I mean, we've come a long way in 20 years. A long way. I think the people look at it much differently. And I'm like, damn, man, we could have had a great second act. This brother getting a damn conscience, man. Save your conscience, make the movies. That's one way of looking at it. But I think that's very, very admirable. I really do. I think that's very, very admirable. I'll say it again, man. Everybody's talking about reparations. I think one way that Black folks can get reparations is figuring out strategies and policies on who gets what when it comes to the legal marijuana industry. You know what I'm saying? Look at your boy Stephon Urkel, Jaleel White. What is he doing? He's selling purple Urkel. Jaleel White is 100% in on the weed. You go to his Instagram right now, his big product is he's selling purple Urkel, purple weed. And for people that is part of the weed community, why wouldn't you want some purple Urkel? He hooked up with Snoop Dogg. They got their own strand. They got vans, branding, the whole 9 yards. They got the whole 9 yards. Totally legal in some states. Totally legal. Totally legal. And right now in the state of Ohio, there is conversation about putting another vote in front of Ohio voters about the legalization, recreational legalization of marijuana. Now, we had a vote a few years back, but it was a whack-ass idea. And I do know there's people in the state of Ohio who are trying to make sure that Black people get a significant portion of that pie, but they're having some issues with the legalities of it. They're having issues on how do we word this? How do we make sure that Black entrepreneurs get a significant piece of that purple Urkel? Y'all think I'm joking? You Google it right now. Purple Urkel. Right. Steve Urkel to Stephon Urkel to purple Urkel. The purple Urkel. You can't make this shit up. It sells itself. And Urkel is Urkle, just in case you're going to look it up for real. Get that purple Urkel. That's right. I'm not mad at Jaleel White. And then in some of the branding that I've seen, it's actually the character Steve Urkel. I mean, not Steve Urkel, but Steve Urkel. I mean, just look it up, man. You'll see images of Steve Urkel smoking weed. He got a joint in his mouth. I'm looking at this shit right now. Purple Urkel. I think it's a fantastic idea, quite honestly. Way to go. Jaleel White. Smart idea, man, because Americans love their drugs. They love it. They love it. So it's like let's just think about it. So 20 years ago, I wonder if Chris Tucker feels the same way. That's the one thing I didn't get from the interview. He felt that way 20 years ago, but now the mentality, the attitudes around marijuana for a lot of people has changed. I feel the same way I always felt. It's from the earth. You're talking about grown folks. If you can go buy a liquor, if you can go buy some spirits, you should be able to go buy some marijuana. The only issue that I have with weed smoking is that you don't hear enough about things like respiratory disease. You don't hear enough about COPD. You don't hear enough about the side effects and how it could affect your long-term health. You don't hear enough about how it affects your circulatory system. You know, as long as adults are aware of the pitfalls and the dangers, I got no problem with what adults do. You go right ahead. You know, it's like unprotected sex. You want to take that risk? You go right ahead. You know what the risk is. I have no problem with that. I got nothing to say about it whatsoever. But what do you think if you have any thoughts? 513-873-7134. Minnie Queen writes, I can understand him not wanting that attached to his name. I think Method Man says something similar about his role and how high once he had children. Times have changed though, right? Yeah, I can get it. You know, the culture shamed Chris Tucker, made him feel like it was a bad thing. And is weed bad? Is weed bad for the Black community? Has it been bad? I mean, it depends on the individual. You know what I'm saying? I mean, McDonald's can be bad for you if you do it too much. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it depends on the individual. Generally speaking, the war on drugs and the overall prosecution and law enforcement efforts to try to stop weed from getting to the communities, I think has been worth than the weed is for the community. I think the government's efforts, like the war on drugs as it relates to marijuana, has been worse to black people than the weed has been to black people. That's just my opinion. That's what you want to do. You go right ahead. I think you could take anything too far, though. Ashley writes, good morning, Nathan and the Choppers. I didn't know that Method Man said that. Really? About how high? I can see you have kids, you want your kids to look at you a certain way, and now here you wilding out in this movie. I never even got through How High. I didn't really like it that much. I'll be honest with you. I got maybe halfway through it. Maybe halfway. That was about it. Janice writes, moving is A B. LOL. Moving is A B. I'm not sure what you're trying to say, Janice. Charlie Winburn writes, good morning, great people. Another day to focus on winning. Absolutely. You already know. Good morning to you. And we'll be hearing just a word from our sponsor this morning, our friends over at Renew Community Church, in just a minute. Maurice writes, he said that it was about the barrel and the teens are allowed to go hunting. What about carrying a gun across state lines? Okay, I'm not sure what you're talking about. Pamela writes, I watched the press conference yesterday morning. I'm very impressed with the transition team. You talking about Avtab Purival? Okay. Yeah, we shall see. Sarah writes, she will be vice mayor. Is that right? Okay. Wait a minute. I think this is strange, but I think we got some messages from yesterday that I was reading, actually. I don't know how that's still here. Crazy things. So let me get to this morning. Brandy writes, greetings to you, Brandy. Anthony writes, morning, shop. Callie writes, morning, folks. Naisha's in the house. She writes, good morning. Janice writes, good morning. Good morning to you, Janice. Joe's in the house. I met Joe. He writes, grand risings, Nate and the Choppers. Good to see you. Anthony writes, like and share. Tanika writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Glad that you're here. Good morning. Nadir's in the house. Good morning to you. We got to link up, brother, this week. Let's do it. We got 2 days left. You let me know which day works. Let's make this happen. I'm down. Anthony writes, like and share. Good morning. Good morning. Brenda writes, good morning. Akeem, I know you love this topic. He writes, oh, we on Chris Tucker today, Nathan Ivey, big bugging. Okay, brother, think what you want, but it's good to see you nonetheless. Nat writes, good hump day, Choppers. Deshauna writes, good morning, Nathan and all. Good morning to you. Carmelita writes, good morning, Nathan and the Choppers. I think that we should disrupt Thanksgiving in the Black community. Thanksgiving is next week, and millions upon millions of Americans are going to be reuniting with their family members. In some cases, you might live close to them. In other cases, this might be your once or twice a year chance to see your family. Maybe you live, you don't live in the same town or same city as your mom and dad or your brothers and sisters. So Thanksgiving is a way, whether you want to buy into the historical hype and the propaganda about what Thanksgiving really means historically for this country, put that to the side. It's an opportunity in most cases for you to get off of work and for you to be around people that love you. But I want to suggest that we disrupt the Thanksgiving conversation. Like, think about it for a second. Don't really react. But what kind of conversations do you have with your family during Thanksgiving? Probably a whole bunch of catching up conversations, right? People you haven't seen in a while, filling in the blanks, the time you haven't seen. Even with COVID, last year with COVID, you may not have, like last year with COVID, we didn't go. Typically, we go to my in-laws, we go to Cleveland. We didn't go last year. So this Thanksgiving is going to be really, really, really big for a lot of people because you weren't with your family last year in some cases. Am I right about that? I probably am. But I want to give you 3 suggestions in terms of ways, or a couple of suggestions in terms of ways to disrupt the Thanksgiving conversation, right? I want you to change it. Now you might already be doing these things. If you're already doing these things during your Thanksgiving conversations, it's all Gucci. But if you're not, just something to think about that you want to add. You want to add to the conversation. I'll share that with you in just a couple of minutes. 513-873-7134 is my number. Matter of fact, we can do it just like that. Boom, there it is. Good morning to you. Good morning. Good morning. Hope you're doing well. You see, McKean writes, for anyone assuming I was in Nate's DM, you assume wrong. No, it wasn't you, brother. Pat writes, good morning, Nathan Choppers. No, it wasn't you. There were some people that didn't like my commentary about the good brother, the Black Eagle yesterday. They didn't care for it too much. And I get it. You know, that's what I want to do. I want to inform, engage, enlighten, and in some cases, enrage. Okay, those are my 4 pillars. Inform, engage, enlighten, and enrage. And sometimes you're going to be enraged. Sometimes we're going to be at odds in terms of the conversation. We're never at odds in no real kind of way. But I stand by what I said. I went back and I looked at the video again and I thought about my thoughts. And I stand by what I said. I applaud what the Black Eagle is doing, but that's not a hunger strike. And it's actually disingenuous because when you hear about somebody saying they're in a hunger strike, it creates leverage. It becomes a thing because you think somebody's life is in jeopardy. The Black Eagle's life is not in jeopardy if he's still drinking smoothies. But that's what passes, these days. You can't be drinking smoothies talking about, I'm on a hunger strike. I'm on day 26. Well, it wouldn't matter how many days you're on a hunger strike because you're not losing calories. You're not at a calorie deficit. In fact, you might be at a calorie surplus. You might pick up a few pounds. Talking about some fucking hunger strike. And then some people listened to the show and had the nerve to try to give me the business about it. I'm like, wait a minute, but I'm right. But I'm right about this. And, people started like, well, all the stuff he did in the community, I'm not talking about anything he did in the community. I'm talking about this right here and this only. That's it. But, believe what you want. Deshauna writes, he was funny. Chris Tucker, he was classically funny. And I'll be honest with you. I'm like, you telling me we missed out on Chris Tucker being a part of Friday? What was it, Friday? Next Friday? Because he had a problem with weed? What? Negro, you a comedian. Go out there and be comedic. But again, I believe that a man should believe in more than just money, hoes, and clothes. All a nigga knows. You got to live for something more than your own selfish desires and what pleases you, right? You got to stand for more than that. So the fact that the brother stood for more than that, I'm cool with it. Hope he comes back. Deshauna writes, I know folks who can't function without weed. So do I. Yeah, I know folks, the first thing they do as soon as they wake up is they reaching for the blunt. And they probably make blunts at night. So when they wake up, they don't have to roll it. It becomes a part of their daily ritual. Anthony writes, but you know what? If you got an addictive personality, you would have found something to be addictive to, right? Alcohol, sugar, weed, pain, sex, pills, whatever, right? Sarah writes, Grand Risings family, good morning. Good to see you. Ron P. De Niro writes, good morning, fam. Good to see you. Akeem writes, national call for faith leaders needed in Brunswick, Georgia. Nate want to talk Chris Tucker. Is that right? Okay. Well, I hope that they get all of the faith leaders. And what are they going to do? They're going to sit down there and sit in the courtroom? Yeah, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Tiffany writes, I'm late. Is there a reason why he's saying this now? That's also a good question. I watched the interview. I thought it was a great interview. I'd never even heard these cats before, so I wish them the best. Hope they're successful with their pod. But I don't know. Maybe they caught him in a moment of clarity and he was having a clear mind and it came up. There was no particular reason I gleaned from the interview. Janice writes, good for Chris Tucker. And yes, words and images are what moves all society. They do matter. They do. Glenn writes, good morning, Nathan Choppers. Daryl writes, Chris Tucker was misinformed black then and missed out on a movie franchise that would have been legendary if he was in them along with Mike Epps and Q. I want to say I agree with Daryl on this. I think I agree with you completely. I thought the same thing. You like, this could have been a huge movie franchise and you blew all of this because as Daryl put it, you were misinformed about marijuana. How is marijuana inherently evil? Marijuana is not inherently bad at all. Marijuana is medicine. That's what it is. So Chris Tucker probably would have had no problem playing a pharmacist in the movie. And these people selling man-made over-the-counter drugs that's killing people too. You just don't hear about it. I mean, there's a percentage of the population that can have a lethal reaction to any drug. But when it's legal, it's okay. When it's a street type, when you buy it from the streets, all of a sudden it's inherently bad. I mean, yes and no. Like one of the best things about marijuana being legal on some levels is the purity, the ingredients. It's regulated. You ain't got street Negroes putting whatever they can put into it, trying to cut it and make more money. And you getting something that's worthy of you taking into your body. That's it. Like, I've never cared about that. I never gave a damn about somebody smoking marijuana. So what? I'm more concerned about people smoking cigarettes than marijuana. All the carcinogens. Now, to say that marijuana doesn't have a negative impact on you is a damn lie. See, that's what we got to do. We got to be, if we're going to talk marijuana, let's talk honestly. You can get addicted to marijuana. You can have a very serious addiction to marijuana. Very serious, very costly. And marijuana can be a gateway drugs into alcohol and other drugs as well. Undeniably, it's the truth. Stop lying to yourself. The other thing is that marijuana or anything that you smoke can have a negative impact on your lungs, period. You can get COPD from smoking marijuana, just like you can get it from smoking cigarettes. So that's my thing, is like the people that are pro, some of them anyway, that are pro marijuana, they never want to talk about the negative health benefits. They only want to talk about the positive health benefits, which there are a lot of positive health benefits. Take it in moderation, can definitely be a better alternative in terms of pain medicines. Long-term chronic pain due to an accident or some other kind of disease or some other physical ailment, it probably is a much better alternative than taking ibuprofen and Tylenol, because that's going to wreck your gut. But that's my issue, Daryl. I just don't think we have honest conversations about it. If we're going to be honest about this, we're going to be pro-marijuana. Let's be pro-marijuana all the way around and keep it 100 people. That way, when people out here doing what they do, they got the best information. That's it. Yo writes, good morning, beautiful people. Good morning to you, yo. Good to see you. Clarence writes, marijuana does not damage your lungs or at all or causes COPD. Is that right? That ain't true. Where you getting your information at? Any kind of smoke that you would take into your lungs will irritate the inner lining of your lungs. And if it irritates the inner lining of your lungs, that means that your body is going to create a response to that irritation. And that's going to lead to COPD and other long-term illnesses. That's 100% fact. No doubt about it. And then when you get in this street weed, you don't know what these nigwas put in it. So now you got that in your mouth, on your lips, in your gums, on your teeth, in your lungs. Smoking anything will restrict your arteries. What are you talking about, Clarence? Oh, my gosh. Ashley writes, good morning, Nathan and Antropos. Good morning to you. Minnie Queen writes, definitely depends on the individual, but I don't believe it's been detrimental to our community. The way I would put it, and thank you for being here, Minnie Queen. I appreciate you. My thoughts is I'm in line with her. I think that law enforcement's efforts to crack down on illegal marijuana has been worse collectively for Black folks than Black folks smoking marijuana themselves. Is that true or false? To me, that would be true. Queen Maxine writes, liquor is far worse than weed until it's been tampered with. Absolutely. Cass writes, it's only been bad because it was criminalized. If it was widely accepted back then as it is now, he definitely would have stayed with the franchise right. We lost what could have been a magnificent franchise. Of course, Chris Tucker got in his feelings about marijuana, and now marijuana is going legal everywhere. Marijuana will be legal in Ohio. One of the smartest things, and I share this with you because I don't really have any interest at this point or any plans to jump into this game, but somebody in my audience is smart and they know a good idea when they hear it, and they've got the means to make this happen. One of the smartest things you could do is to prepare yourself for the incoming uh, uh, new industry, which is recreational marijuana. There will be a time when people love food trucks. One day you're gonna have 2 or 3 food trucks that's selling cannabis flavored ice cream, cannabis flavored everything, and they're gonna make more money than they can fill up in that damn food truck. Watch. They're going to make more money than they can actually drive away with in the food truck. People are going to love it because what's better? Think about the things that people love. Pizza, right? What's better than a nice, delicious pizza? Than a nice, delicious pizza infused with THC. Tell me what's better than that? Nothing. Nothing would be better than that. Get ready, my friend. I share this with you. Get ready. Get your game together. Get your research together right now because it's going to happen in Ohio real soon. Because the rich dudes, they want to get richer. Right? And they got the wherewithal to be at the top of the food chain. Now, at the top of the food chain, I think, are the distributors. Like these are the people that own the land where they're actually cultivating it. If you got land, if I had land like that, you already know. You already know. People love Skyline chili. What would be better than Skyline chili? A great 3-way, or maybe you like 3 or 4 really nice hot cheese conies with all the cheese. But what if that meat sauce is infused with THC? It's going to be a number one seller. It's going to be a number one seller because they're doing it already. People are already doing it. And once it gets legal and people figure out the different variations and how to deliver it, because it's all about the delivery, right? Cheese pizza is nothing more than a cheese delivery device. That's all it is. You eating a bunch of damn cheese and some dough, right? But when they start to figure out creative ways to deliver the THC, right, in ways that are socially acceptable, we don't have to have a joint up to your lips or something like that. It's going to be a number one big bank, stupid, crazy market. Stupid crazy. And I just want to know how many black folks are going to get a chance to be a part of that. Eloise is in the house. What's up, Elo? She writes, good morning. Happy Wednesday. Hopefully it's okay for me to do that with your name. But I love that name. Good morning. Black Russia's in the house. She writes, good morning. Daryl writes, the top vote getter on city council becomes the vice mayor. Is that right? Nah, it used to be like that. No. It used to be the top vote getter became the mayor. It used to be the way we did it. It was crazy archaic days. What was wrong with us as a city? Ass backwards. Did he make an announcement yet? I don't know. I don't know who's going to be. I'm not sure how important that role is. I don't know. If it's Jan Michelle Lemon Kearney, great for her. I think she'll do a great job as the vice mayor. Okay, I do. I think she'll do a great job. We shall see. TNT writes, good morning. Good morning, TNT. Marisha's in the house. She writes, good morning. Janice writes, as Richard Pryor said in one of his comedy skits, drugs made one of his characters null and void. Clarence in the building. Morning, Choppers. Good to see you, Clarence. Not how it works. VP appointed by mayor regardless of vote count. Right. Ron P. writes, Chris Tucker trying to change the narrative. He said years ago, only reason he didn't want to do it next Friday because Ice Cube didn't want to pay him enough money. I think it was a couple things. So I do remember him saying that. So it could have been multiple things. But if they're paying you enough money, that might help you get over your conscience and your feelings about marijuana. I can see that. And to me, it's just another example of the consciousness of the black man. They try to play black men like like we don't care and we don't think about the community and it's all about the money. But that's nothing could be further from the truth. People are much more complex than that. Maurice writes, I like that hoodie. My hoodie? Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Jenny writes, good morning, Nathan and Choppers. Happy Wednesday. Yes, happy Wednesday to you. Great to be with you. Callie writes, my son lives in Houston, Texas, and a lot is going on down there. We are most definitely having a different convo this year at the table. Absolutely. Disrupt the conversation at the Thanksgiving table. When is Thanksgiving? And this is a week ago. When is Thanksgiving? Is it? Let me look it up. 25th? Black Friday's coming on November 26th. Yeah, it's the 25th, so a week and 1 day from today. A week and 1 day from today. Let me take a quick break, a quick pause. We'll come right back. This is the Nathan Ivey Show. I'm live, I'm local, and I'm vocal. We'll be right back.
Can't sleep.
It's hard to pay attention in school.
I say mean things.
I keep getting in trouble.
I bully other kids.
I'm just scared.
No one sees my pain.
Sometimes I want to die.
So many of our children are facing trauma, but instead of seeing their pain and fear, we're labeling them bad, troubled, delinquent, or criminal. Let's look beyond their behaviors. Let's get them the help they need by helping them address the trauma they're facing.
Help me feel safe.
See me for more than my behaviors.
Understand that my actions are how I communicate my fears.
For more information, visit www.ohiostateofemergency.com. That's ohiostateofemergency.com.
ohiostateofemergency.com. And those ad spots are brought to you by our friends over at Renew Community Church. Speaking of which, they've got a brand new live stream series this Sunday. How to keep from losing your mind. Learn how to focus and be happy. This Sunday at 11:45 a.m. Now you can tap in on Facebook at Cincy Renew, CINCI Renew, or on YouTube, Renew Community Church live stream. Okay, and of course, that chorus will be led by Charles Winburn. You can see his photograph right there, bottom right. Good morning. How to keep from losing your mind. And you can learn how to focus and be happy. Everybody wants to be happy. I know I want to be happy, right? You want to be happy? Could be an opportunity for you. Check it out. Omar, Brother Flomani writes, Chris Tucker had the Rush Hour franchise. He'll be all right. He did. He absolutely did. Most def. Susan writes, good morning, choppers, and happy birthday to Iris Rowley. Oh, I didn't know that. Happy birthday to Sister Iris. I was supposed to go to something they had going on yesterday. I just wasn't able to make it. She invited me to. And I'm glad to see, another cycle around the sun, huh? That's a beautiful thing. Okay, so 3 ways that I want this. These are 3 suggestions, right? In terms of disrupting the Thanksgiving conversation, right? Because I've been a part of a lot of Thanksgiving conversations, and they're all great. You're reconnecting with family, you're catching up on things you've been doing, what your plans are, your health, your job, and just spending time with your family. But I think that at these days and times, it could be interesting, could be valuable for you to perhaps inject a few things into the conversation with the family with a certain intentionality. And one of those things is preparing for life after death. Many of you know my mother just passed away. And to her credit, she had her things in order. She had pre-thought about insurance. And so our family had an easier way of making her arrangements than if she had not. And just the passing of my mother just made me and my wife think more about preparing for life after death of either one of us, or, for both of us, because we have 2 children. And we have children, especially like a 6-year-old, you got to think about things like who takes your child, right? And you got to think about life insurance, and you got to think about what their life would be if you weren't around. And I'm just wondering if we have enough of those conversations in our community. I'm talking about the Black community, right? And the funeral service that we use, man, they got a good system going on over there. They're making a lot of money. And they offer, and I like to work with them. We'll see if it happens that way. In terms of promoting some of their pre-packaged life after death plans, because when you're dealing with that kind of stuff, you all in your feelings, you don't want to think about the business aspect and calling these different numbers. So that's one conversation that, again, I would just humbly suggest this to my family, that it could be something that you could bring up, or you could strategize and organize with your family to maybe disrupt the Thanksgiving conversation. It's still all about family, but it's the business of life after death. And from what I've been told, and I've seen this, a lot of people don't think about these things. And then you have an untimely death. And then that's when all the feelings and the old stuff and bickering comes out. When the money ain't right, when the insurance ain't right, when you don't know what the plan is, and you got 3 or 4 different voices, everybody love the dearly departed the same. Um, it can get real. It can get real. When we met with the um the funeral home, a very nice woman we work with, black woman, sister. As she sat there, I had to ask her. I'm like, I bet you see a lot of this, you know. And with us, it was myself and my 2 little sisters in the room at that point as we were making these arrangements. You know, when I'm in the room, I'm always on some positive type ish. I'm bringing that kind of energy and supporting my family. So, you know, our interaction was pleasant and productive. But I asked her, I'm like, I bet you see a lot of this. And she told me, like, you just don't know, Nate. You know, she's seen it all. She's seen people get to fighting. You know, here you are in the room with the funeral home, and you making decisions about the dearly departed, somebody that you really cared about, and you got so many feelings and pent up feelings and things like that. That you know, people can come to blows. You know, you go into people's chin. So that would just be one humble suggestion I would make. Again, this audience is comprised of smart, intelligent people. You probably have already had these conversations, but if we can reach one person this morning to give you something to think about, because I mean, Thanksgiving is, for me, is about just family, just chilling out, just being around people, being close to people, watching the grandkids and the cousins and all that kind of stuff, and just sitting back and chilling and really unplugging a little bit. But it can be a time to strategize, right? Strategize, make those plans about life after death and come to a better understanding. You might have some older people in your family, push them, help them to get their plans in place so that if something happens or when something happens, because death is going to come for all of us, you already know what the plan is. You already got the insurance. You know where the number is. You got a fireproof bag where everybody keep their stuff is in their respective house. You know who to call. You know what the insurance number is. You know what they want to do. Do they want to be cremated? Do they want to be where they want to be buried at? You know, all these little details, because that shit get pricey. Whew. You sitting there talking to that woman, man, cha-ching, 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 pricey, pricey, pricey. And, you know, you do what you got to do in those kind of situations. But again, Chairman Mom was a very smart woman. And so she had the finances already taken care of. So for us, we just had to go just point and click. It was so much smoother because Chairman Mom thought about this. That's one way that you could possibly disrupt the conversation at the family dinner table during Thanksgiving. It don't have to be when you eat on Thanksgiving, but sometime around that time, maybe you pull everybody together. Maybe for the people that's not there, you do like a Zoom or something like that and bring them in virtually. The other thing that I would suggest, and I suggest this humbly, is to talk about wealth building with intentionality in your family. Like, I'll say it again, like, who better to start an investment club with than the members of your own family? And before you say, I don't trust all them damn Negroes, they broke, they ain't got ish. Okay, well, maybe it's not everybody, but maybe you tap 2, 3, 4 of your family members who you think are either responsible and or meet whatever criteria you may have to start your little wealth building plan. You know what I'm saying? All these people out here buying property in these damn cities. Why can't you and your family do that? Why can't y'all come together and put a couple bucks away for a year or two? And then after that, y'all got a nice little nest egg and y'all go out there and start making investments. And then y'all all take an equal portion of it. Or you set this up as an estate for the general family. Why can't y'all get into flipping houses together? You know, why can't y'all get into cryptocurrency together? And why can't you get into anything together with the members of your own family? You know, maybe somebody in your family's got the next big idea. Never know until you set that stage for them and hear what they have to say. So that's what I would humbly say. And then the third way that you can disrupt the conversation during Thanksgiving is pull your family together and look them in the eye and say to them what you need to say to them. Right? Pull your family together, look them in the eye, and say to them what you need to say to them. In some cases, you might need to get them flowers. In some cases, you might need to have a real heart to heart with them. You know what I'm saying? But it seems to me like we have so many unresolved issues with the people that we closest with, things that we should have said or was about to say, or maybe it's something you said before it needs a correction. I'm telling you, man, because when your end comes, it comes quick. It comes real fast. When the end happens, it happens very, very fast. And there's no comebacks. So again, I offer this humbly to my extended family. I want you to live your best lives. I want you to be successful in whatever you're doing. I don't know what you're doing, but I want you to be, as long as it's righteous and you're not harming anybody, it's something that's productive, and you building wealth in your family or whatever it is that you're trying to build, you got my support. Can you feel my energy? I mean it 100%. So there's 3 ways that you might disrupt the conversation this year around Thanksgiving. Number 1 is that life after death. Make sure you got your plans. Make sure everybody knows where the numbers are and where the file folder is. We spent I think my sister spent like 2-3 days trying to find my mother's folder, right, where all of her insurance documents were. Now, we knew it was there, but we didn't know where it was. And my sister took on the task of finding it. It took her 3-4 days. Come on now, we got to do better than that. Now, we found it. Everything was okay. Insurance came through. We Gucci. Chairman Mom was a smart woman. But what if we hadn't found it? You know what I'm saying? We would have been stuck. I want you and your family to be better. You know what I'm saying? Know where the folder is, exactly where it is. They got these fireproof bags. We got one. It's fireproof. So if something happens, you got all your birth certificates or whatever is in there. Nothing's going to be damaged. You got family members. Everybody should know where that is in their respective homes. We ain't got to tell everybody, but tell somebody. Wealth building. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you get 4-5 people putting $300-$400 a month into a little file, into a savings account. After a year, how much money you got? You got enough now to start thinking about, okay, either we're going to go back in and save up for another year, or we're going to go get us some of this cryptocurrency. Why not? Why not? Why can't y'all do that? Everybody else is doing it. You might want to invest in whatever the currency is. It might be digital currency or it might be something else. Wherever you might live at. When I live in Cincinnati right now, it's a whole lot of properties that can be built and can be bought. They haven't gentrified every neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what neighborhoods is the next target. Then get out ahead of it and get you some of these properties. Start flipping that money and building your wealth. That's what I would say. But let me go to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Nate.
Hey, what's going on, brother?
This is Nadir. Blessings, peace and blessings to you.
What's up, Nadir?
Everything good, man. I'm actually in the Natty.
Oh, you're in the Natty? Okay.
For like 20 days. Yeah,
okay.
19 days or something. But
and you going back?
Let me first. I'm running back, bro.
Wow. Okay.
Let me first congratulate you on the awards you have received. Definitely deserving, and I'm definitely proud and thankful to be a friend of yours. So many years. So I'm definitely enjoying and celebrating your growth. And I really appreciate what you just brought to the table. You know what I mean? We use the title Thanksgiving. And something that I can impart upon the people. And, we'll go more into it. Hopefully, if we can do the show tomorrow, that'll be that's good for you. That'd be cool.
Let's do that. Let's play it for
it. Okay. But the point you're making, we got to have real conversations. Like if you get this side of life, you're gonna get the other side. But like you said, we don't plan for it. And so what you're bringing forth, the other part of the conversation, respectfully, is a lot of what we eat during that time of the year is part of our demise, our health demise. The sweet potatoes, the candy yams, the pork, and those kinds of things that attacks our health. But staying on the point in terms of the transition, understanding what your family members need and want in terms of that transition process. We got to really, really have those real conversations. You know what I mean? And it's critical. There's a lot of times people wait till the last minute and, find out, the family member really didn't have the effective insurance, be that and the third. So then, you're going out to the community, which I'm not sure is wrong, but reaching out to the community to help, bury your loved ones and things of that nature. You know what I mean? And people got to understand, like, death is big business. And so some of the things we do it out of just not really being critical about it. Some of the decisions we make in terms of when a person transitions. It's a lot of money made from death. You know what I mean? But I think we should be transitioning the conversation, having real conversations about evolving our families, economics, our families, next part of life. So I think this is a great topic, and you know how I go. When certain family members bring forth these kind of ideas, it ruffles feathers, but so what? You know what I mean? I mean, I think it's important. Actually, I lost my aunt and my dad right before I left to go to Ghana. So, thankfully, like we had things in place. My siblings in terms of my dad, and then, my aunt and my mom. I spent a lot of time having some conversations with them, so we kind of already knew, how my aunt wanted to be dealt with, and she had her documents in order. You know what I'm saying? So I'm in agreement with you. And then, like you're saying, investing, putting our money up. And, I'll talk more about it tomorrow, but I didn't take a whole lot of money when I went to the motherland. It was just I put money up over the years. I had a progressive plan about what I wanted to do and why I wanted to go back home to the motherland. And so I didn't take thousands and thousands of dollars, but I took enough. And the kind of person I am, I'm able to, now sustain my life. So, we can do everything we need to do. It's just like we got to shift our paradigm in terms of how we dealing with our economics. And I say this, and then I'll let you go. Yesterday, I had the opportunity to speak to some youth at Aiken, some basketball players. And one of the things I told them, and I'll say this out loud for our community, instead of getting your child some Nikes, a new phone, and things of that nature, go spend some money on a passport. Your children, make that day Christmas gift, birthday gift, Kwanzaa gift. Get them a passport. We have to become global. We're missing out on a lot of opportunities in life. There's so much land in the motherland that we can invest in, with less than $2,000. I'm gonna say it like that. But we're not global. We kind of local, and we continue to keep on doing the same things. Things are shifting, so it's time for us to evolve. The melanated greatness of us. So I'll hit you up inbox a little later, and we chop it up about how we want to do what we do. But I'm home. Surprised my mother yesterday and my sister. They didn't know I was coming home. My mom, she turned 70 on Friday. My birthday was last Friday. My mom's is Friday. This coming Friday. My sister's is Saturday. So surprised them yesterday, and it's a blessing to see mom smiles. She was shocked. Yeah.
All right, brother. I'll catch up with you, man, for sure.
All right.
I'm looking forward to that.
Keep up the great work. Great point. Great topic. Thank you.
Yeah, brother Nadir, he spent a lot of time in Ghana. I'm like, what? We got a brother from Cincinnati that I know. And so we spoke with him. I think it was last year we spoke with him. He was in Ghana when we spoke via phone. He was just telling us about his experiences. We spent like an hour on the phone. I had so many questions. And so he's willing to come back on, and we'll talk with him tomorrow. So we got Miss Ebony J talking about the I Am Queen Awards at 8 a.m. And then this brother, I'm not sure when we'll have him on, but probably I would say maybe sometime after 8:30. So look for those local conversations coming up tomorrow. I'm here for it. I am here for it. I want to hear about it. I've never been to the continent of Africa. I've never been to Ghana. So just hearing about his experiences and what he saw, I think was very, very interesting. I thought it was very interesting. You know me, I'm just a student of life, man. Human beings, us, we, y'all, all of us are the most interesting things on the planet to me. I just love to observe and talk about what humans do, especially as it relates to black folks, to the black humans. Brent writes, y'all funny. We need pizza infused with Kumsi tea, huh? I don't even know what that is at all. Is that like a Kumsi lotion or something like that? I don't know. Kathy writes, good morning, all. Good morning to you. Y'all funny, man. Nicole writes, marijuana also heals and is a remedy to many common ailments when it's regulated. When it's regulated and it's pure, you don't have all these street things they put in it to break it down and to flip it and to cut it and make more out of less and smelling like formaldehyde. And you don't want to take that. You don't want that in your body. Deshauna writes, Nathan, have you seen the weed packages in the store? They have packs, looks like Cheetos, Fruit Loops, gummy bears. I am aware of that whole industry, the whole edible industry. I'm very aware of it. I think it's smart. And I hope some black folks move into that space and create their own businesses in that space. Like I said, I mean, Even though that's not my interest. I mean, I could be interested in, who knows, I might come up with an idea, but that's going to be a big industry in Cincinnati because Cincinnatians are not that dissimilar to anybody else. Cincinnatians like to go outdoors. We like to be entertained. We like to dance. We like to laugh. We like to be around good people, and we like to eat and drink. We like to be entertained by sports venues and all kind of venues, the arts. We love all of that. And Cincinnatians love their beer. They love alcohol in Cincinnati. They love it. They love it, love it, love it. The outgoing mayor, John Cranley, he said that, these bars are revitalizing Cincinnati. It seems like there's a bar everywhere in the center of Cincinnati, the center city of Cincinnati. It seems like there's a new bar everywhere. And it seems like we can't have enough bars. They come up with a cool theme and a signature drink, it'll be filled. That's alcohol. Jenny writes, and you can lose your job and get arrested. Marijuana is illegal on the federal level. All true. True, as I understand it. Nat writes, I just laughed at the hypocrisy. People drinking and eating tons of sugar, but worried about somebody else ingesting marijuana. Exactly. Clarence writes, some people smoke marijuana for medical reasons. Some people smoke marijuana because they like it. True. Daryl writes, yeah, it's going to happen real soon too, and it should. I remember when folks was against having a casino here in Ohio, and a few years later, there were numerous casinos in Ohio because lawmakers saw the money, the surrounding states making money. I never had a problem with casinos in Ohio. My issue was the details of the deal. Is the deal going to be something that benefits Ohioans? It shouldn't just benefit the casino, right? The way I used to put it is, if Ohio is going to lose its casino virginity, then we should get something out of it. And kicking off just a little money to the schools is not enough. I never thought it was enough. So I'm down with all of this kind of stuff, man. This is what, competitive cities are doing. My issue is always the details of the deal, like who benefits. Ron P. writes, exactly. Clarence writes, Nate, get me to the chopper. You didn't hit the button. Sorry, got you, brother. Get to the chopper. And Brent writes, whether it's marijuana, alcohol, other drugs, or food, folks are self-medicating and need to address the root instead of just treating the symptoms. I agree with you. Brother Iman writes, he became a born-again Christian. He's a preacher now. Dale writes, next Thursday. Brittany writes, parents need to remember to stash edibles away. I've been seeing a lot of stories about kids eating them thinking it's candy. Right. And that'd be terrible. And then you got to take your kid to you'll be talking with 2-for-1 kids. Like, you did what, ma'am? Yeah, I didn't mean to. Huh? What? Yo, TNT, are there any local organizations planning on doing to Brunswick? And what viable info did Queen Iris have yesterday? The Choppers missed her call in 100. Ron P. writes, Chris Tucker wanted $20 million. He was used to getting that rush hour money. Ice Cube said he wasn't going to pay him that. Chris is full of it. So is Chris trying to dress up his original comments? Jerica's in the house. She writes, hola, beautiful black people, and the others too. Great to see you, sis, as always. Lisa writes, we do not have enough of those conversations. I've been pushing little facts that I have found out dealing with my father's death. Yeah, I don't think we do it all. I don't think we have those kind of conversations in our family. I just want to remind you, because we're all smart, intelligent people. I ain't got to tell you what to do. You already know what to do. But I'm just saying, perhaps you might want to think about disrupting the normal cycle and flow of your Thanksgiving conversation by adding, with some intentionality, a conversation based upon these 3 things. Number 1, making sure you got a life after death plan, because after you die, life goes on. That's why I call it life after death, right? Your children have to live. I shared with you, I'll share it again. I'm on some levels an open book to the audience. My mother was a smart woman, and we knew that she had her plans in terms of her insurance and the basics already taken care of. We just didn't know where the file was, where the folder was. And I won't say that my mother was a hoarder, but there was a little bit of disorganization there. A lot of smart people are disorganized because their brain is like this. And so my mother was no different. And so my sister was given the task of finding this folder, We knew there was a folder in my mom's house. We didn't know where the folder was or what it looked like. So she spent 3-4 days looking for it. Couldn't find it at first. Like, we was all about to posse up and go over there. She's like, no, I got it. I'm going to find it. Finally, she found it. And everything that we needed was inside of it. And then once the funeral home got that information, we was Gucci. And it was just like a weight off of everybody's shoulder. Not that we didn't want to pay it because we would have made it happen, but just knowing it was already taken care of was just like a exhale moment, right? And that's what you want to do. The other thing is wealth building. Like to me, who better to go in business with? And they don't have to be in all of your business, but what's wrong with like a little savings club, right? I mean, you can buy shares of wine these days. I was just on Instagram. There's like this service now where you can buy shares in bottles of wine. You can invest in crypto. There's so many different levels of investment that you can do these days. Why not do that with your mom and them, your cousin and them? You know what I'm saying? Why not? Start there. Maybe it's not every cousin because you don't trust that cousin and you don't like that cousin. But I'm sure there's somebody that's going to be in that home on Thanksgiving that you can build wealth. It might just be one person. Having those sharing wealth building, ideas with intentionality, not just as a passing or parting conversation. But this is what we're going to talk about for the next 30 minutes, y'all. Everybody meet us in the kitchen. Everybody, and this might be after Thanksgiving, because what's better than leftovers? Nothing. Ain't shit better than some leftovers, right? I'm making myself hungry. Right? But leftovers, everybody meet in the kitchen. That's where everybody's going to be anyway. Y'all talking about wealth building strategies. Hey, you know what? I'm thinking about, buying crypto and thinking about maybe we can all do this together. Here are the risks. Now, of course, you're not going to do it that same day, but there's a lot of ways of doing it. It's so easy these days. They got these apps where you can purchase the stuff straight on your phone. It'll come straight out your bank account. It's super, super easy these days. And then last but certainly not least, dealing with unresolved conversations. Giving people their flowers, letting them know how you really feel about them, and talking about things that are unresolved. Because in families, there's a whole lot of unresolved conversations. Mama, daddy, somebody did something back in the day is still on your mind. You're still pissed off about something that was said or not said 3 years ago at Thanksgiving. Get it off your chest. You know what I'm saying? Sit them down, look them in the eye. And be open to that. That's what I would say. Jared writes, legal aid typically helps elderly individuals draft wills. Sister Iris in the house. Happy birthday to you, Sister Iris. Hopefully we don't have the day wrong. I used to sell pre-need life insurance for funeral homes. No lies told, right? Pre-need, that's a smart idea, man. You just, peace of mind. It's turnkey. You just finish the payments. Everything's taken care of. TNT is answering Akeem's question. She writes, I haven't heard anything, King, that might have been an independent venture. I am keeping my ears close to my ATL family, Derek Bozeman, WAOK. I don't know what Queen Warrior has to say, but I believe is her birthday today. Okay. Good morning to you. Good morning. King says he's heavily invested in crypto. Really? What types? What types, bro? TC writes, good morning, Choppers. Yeah, I think I want to reach out and bring more people on and just give you some idea about the direction for the show so that you're not caught off guard. And I want to have more of those kind of conversations. I want this to be a show that's Cincinnati based where you can get that kind of information and then hopefully we can put it into place together. Okay. So crypto's big right now. I know Tiffany Daniels, she was doing a podcast for us. She stepped away for some time. I still know on her Facebook page, she'll talk about some of the investments she's made. And, but there's a lot of people in that space. I'm gonna start reaching out and see if we can't have people come on to explain all this stuff. Because some people may be well-versed in it, like Akeem, he says he's heavily invested. Other people might want to be heavily invested if they knew more about it. So let's learn more about it. TC writes, good morning, Choppers. Hey, good morning to you, TC. Good morning to you. Glenn writes, preach, Nate. I can tell you from personal experience, end-of-life conversation can be extremely hard, but very much needed. They're very hard to do, but very much needed as well. Absolutely. Sadly, I've heard of people fighting over grandma or grandpa's belongings after they pass. Yeah, I experienced some of that after the passing of my grandparents. Not so much with my brothers and sisters and my mother, because like I told my brothers and sisters, y'all can take whatever mommy, had. I don't, I don't need any of it. If you want her bed, take her bed. You want to sell it, sell it. I'm sure she wouldn't care. If you want her dresser or any of her belongings, or take whatever you want. Take whatever you want. Whatever brings comfort to you of the passing of our mother, you go right ahead. I'm not really that kind of person. I don't need to hold on to keepsakes and things like that. I got the memories. Um, Deshona writes, so this came across breaking news. Mike Tyson dies after taking toad venom, but he's alive and said death is beautiful. What the heck? And why would he even try that? Is that real? Right? What the hell? Let me look this up. Oh, okay. Says he smokes toad venom as much as 3 times a day. Toad venom. I don't even know. I'm not even sure what the hell you're supposed to do with that. I do know that there are venomous toads, frogs. I get it. Mike Tyson's on a whole nother level, Deshaun. He on a whole nother level. He's on a whole nother level. David writes, brother Nadir is talking about priorities. Yes, he is. Me, like many others, knew Nadir before he became Nadir. He was a good brother back then, a good brother now. Much love, brother W. Woods, aka Nadir. Brent writes, if you and your spouse have minor children, it's imperative that you have a will so you can determine who your children go live with if both of you unfortunately pass at the same time, and also confirm with those people that they're willing to raise your child. Absolutely. Most deaf. Brian writes, just the act of traveling can and usually will transform the mind of a young person. Big time perspective giver. I can see that, Brian. I could definitely see that. And good morning to you. Micah writes, exactly. I did just that when my kids were little. I tell my sister this regularly. She don't hear me though. Ron writes, Nate, are you going to see Dave Chappelle? No, I just couldn't afford it. I'll be honest with you. The tickets that I wanted, I just couldn't afford. So we won't be going to see Dave Chappelle today. Akeem writes, yo, Nadir, tell Nate is praising Ghana. Okay. Right. Ashley writes, I am a community health worker that works with moms and dads to be. The one thing I constantly discuss with them is life insurance for their children and themselves and how inexpensive it is, especially when you get your children insured so young. GoFundMe is not life insurance. I am so passionate about this topic. Hashtag generational wealth. Huh. Okay. Ron writes, he's filming a movie documentary, might be dope. Oh, yeah, I'm hip to it. We talked about it a couple weeks back. Yeah, about a month ago we talked about it. He's filming another, like you said, another documentary in Cincinnati is going to be one of those cities. Probably, it sounds like some new material. So that's great. That's great. I would love to be in a house. I just can't afford it. Victor writes, Chris Tucker's years ago was present in our National Pentecostal Church Convention and testified about him being born again. I think this impacted his views. Akeem writes, Cranley lifted more bars than kids out of poverty. I'm going to reach out to Mayor Cranley during his transition and get him on, and we'll have these conversations, have a real conversation about what he did and did not do for the city of Cincinnati, backed by the facts. Gerard writes, yeah, since he got lots of bars, they be forcing closing the black one, shaking my head, and they don't want a strip club. I'm not against strip clubs, gentlemen clubs, or clubs where men are dancing. Again, these are all things that adults like to do. I don't think there's anything wrong with it whatsoever. None whatsoever. I don't think that if women want to dance and make some extra money, then go right ahead. If men want to dance and make a little extra money, then go right ahead. I have no problem with it. And I used to know a couple dancers. They was great single mothers doing what they get, making their money. Shit, you can make $1,000 jiggling for 3-4 hours. You will too. Jiggle, jiggle. Jiggle, jiggle. Dale writes, I thought the schools benefited from Paul Brown Stadium. They might be. I don't know. They might be. Some well wishes and happy birthday to Iris Rowley. Akeem writes, my place is hoarded with marijuana, stocks, and crypto. Okay. I ain't mad at you. Absolutely. Happy birthday to you, Sister Iris. Wish you many more. Good morning, choppers. 3 things all adults need: a financial plan, an air fryer, and a weighted blanket. An air fryer? You know, my brother-in-law has an air fryer. We're looking at getting one. I'm not even sure. Maybe so. Maybe so. Charles writes, Shiba and NU is hot in crypto right now, as is Saitama. See, I don't even know what the hell I'm talking about. I have no idea. Y'all more hip to the game. Who would be a good guest? You know, I prefer a black person, but I'll take whoever. But if there's some black experts on this, black and brown experts, I love to talk with them first. But who would be a good, pardon me, who would you suggest would be a good guest to come on and educate us about this? And I'm looking in terms of telling us, like, what's the lay of the land? Like, what website do I go to if I want to track the charts, so to speak? I want to track, the price and also the value of cryptocurrencies. Maybe that's a better way of saying it. Is there a website where I can go to? And who would be a good guest to talk about all of this stuff? And I'll reach out. Most definitely. Weighted blanket. Charles writes, I've heard of people licking the back of toes to get high, but have never heard of smoking toe venom. Who was the first MF to try that? LOL. OJ Wellborn's in the house. Good morning, brother. Good to see you. If I can get it out. Morning, Nathan Choppers, TWE. Ron writes, true, the tickets was expensive. Yeah, I looked it up. I was going to purchase them. I'm like, man, by the time I got to it, the seats I really wanted were largely taken. And then the seats that I was left with, I didn't really want it. OJ writes, having life insurance and having your affairs in order will solidify your loved ones with property left behind. And OJ, is there a type of life insurance? Let's say I am in the process of buying a home. Okay, I'm 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years into a 30-year mortgage. Is there a type of life insurance where if I pass away, it'll pay off the house? OJ, do you know about anything like that? And congratulations to you, brother. And we got to catch up. OJ writes, it is a great idea. Is there a type of life insurance that pays off your house? I like to know and put that out there. Nat writes, Bitcoin really has no intrinsic value. Its supply and demand and limited quantities can crest the value similar to the government's fiat system, but not backed by the government. Okay. Let me go to the phones here. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Nate. How you doing?
What's going on?
This is Deborah Nesbitt.
Good morning. Good morning, Deborah.
You spitting bars on everything this morning, from weed to everything. Like, you talking about everything. People got Mike Tyson smoking frogs. It's weird morning today, but I don't smoke weed mainly because I don't think I really need to. I'm kind of goofy as it is. I heard this story once about that dropping acid makes you reach enlightenment, right?
Uh-huh.
And there's this Buddhist monk. Supposedly, if at the end, if you get to the end of Buddhism or whatever it is, you reach enlightenment. And so they had this Buddhist monk drop acid. He was exactly the way he was. Like, he didn't change at all. I feel exactly like that about me with weed and alcohol. Like, I don't need it. I'm exactly the way I am. I'm goofy and crazy enough as it is. I don't need it. So there's that. Biden got the infrastructure bill passed. Woo woo. And I'm really, really happy about that. Not only because it's going to help the Brent Spence Bridge, which I hate and refuse to go across. But we're supposed to get another bridge to go with that bridge. So now if there's a wreck on that one, we'll have a whole nother bridge. That would be great. And then we might finally get that 3C rail project pushed through that what was that governor idiot? Kasich, yeah, him. He trashed because he was all racist against Obama. So we might finally get that to finally get Columbus, Cincinnati, Cleveland, and what's the other little city up there, top of Ohio? I don't know. It's my own state. I don't even know. We're finally going to get all the major cities in Ohio connected by rail, which would be great. I mean, can you imagine like waking up in Cincinnati, getting on a train, and like maybe 30 minutes later being in Columbus and like working there and then coming back home and being home for dinner, or just going there for like the weekend or something on a train, not having to drive, just do Uber or something. Like that would be great for our own city, rolling up to Cuyahoga Falls or the park up there, people coming down to Kings Island, people going to the bars and the ball games here. We could have like, I don't know, Bengals, Browns trade-offs or something. Like it could be great for tourism, like people just getting on the trains. We could have had that years ago, but you know what they say about Cincinnati? Everybody wants to be here when the world ends because everything here happens 10 years later. I don't know. I'm going to see Chappelle tonight. I want to hear what all the fuss about. I want to hear it from the man himself. Seen a lot of Chappelle on TV, never seen him in person, so I'm going.
Oh, I'm jealous.
I got limited view tickets, so they should be pretty decent. Anything that says limited view is always cool.
Now, what does that mean, limited view?
Limited view is usually like to the left or the right of the stage, and you're usually in front. Like supposedly you're behind a pole or something. It's not a front view. But I got limited view tickets for Prince back in the day, and they were the best tickets I ever had. I actually got to hand him a picture of my daughter. Like that's how close we were. It was insane. So if in anytime you get limited, and they're always cheaper tickets. Like they were like $49 or something. So yeah, anything that says limited view, get that. It's at Heritage Bank Arena. I've never been there. I don't do sports or anything, so I've never been there, but I don't think there can really be a bad seat. Like even if you go to like Music Hall or what's the other place over there? I don't know. I just don't see there's bad seats in Cincinnati. Our venues are not that huge to where, I don't know. So I plan to at least see what he's talking about. I haven't watched his last special yet, so I'm like hustling, trying to find some time today to watch the last special that everybody was tripping about before I go see the new thing with the whole documentary and him doing whatever he does. I tend to like Dave Chappelle. I don't agree with him about everything because I'm a woman. He's a man, and I don't agree with men about everything, but that's just me. I'm just difficult. So it is what it is. Oh, my big thing that happened last night. I don't know if y'all know who Michael Harriot is. Do you know who Michael Harriot is, Nate?
Yeah, he's a writer, right?
Yeah, he quit the Root last night.
Really?
Oh my God. Like he hit on Facebook and Twitter, and his last post was called Deuces. And he's leaving the Root. My heart is like broken. Like two people that I listen to or read every day is you and Michael Harriot. Like I'm like, I don't like he just quit.
Why?
He posted something about tapioca and hobgoblins, and he's leaving. It's insane.
Wait, where did he post that? Let me look this up. Where did he post that?
On Facebook and on Twitter. If you look at his Twitter feed or his Facebook page, he quit the Root last night.
Huh.
It's huge. I mean, I'm like, what? Like he has done for the nation what you've done for this area. Like he changed things, man. He changed things. Like y'all black men are out here doing the damn thing. And the fact that he quit the Root after, I think it's been 4 years, 5 years. At least I've been reading him. I know it's at least since the whole Trump thing. But yeah, that was huge.
I'm glad
that was
you
the
told
first
me
thing
this.
I
I
meant
didn't
to say when
realize
I
that.
called you.
Wow. Tapioca hobgoblin swoon? What?
Yeah, you got to read the whole thing for it to make sense. I was like Nettie with the color purple last night. Like, why?
Now,
why?
did he talk about where he's going next?
Huh?
Did you talk about what he's going to do next?
Nah, he said he don't have a plan. He said he don't know where he's going. He's doing this thing with Eli Mistal tonight, I think, though, like a podcast or something. I don't know how you say that dude's name. I'll read so much on the internet, but I'll never hear now how people's names are pronounced. So if I'm saying it wrong, if I sound ignorant, sorry. But yeah, but he quit the Root last night. Craziness. Like, I'm like, what?
That is quite interesting. I wonder what happened.
I think he's just moving on.
Huh.
I think he said everything he has to say. I was looking forward to hear what he had said to say about Ahmaud Arbery and the other little idiot kid running around in Wisconsin with a gun. And
Got
I think
Rittenhouse.
I think he's just like, maybe I ain't got nothing to say about all of this. I've said what I gotta say, and he's just like, deuces. That's what he said. Real talk.
Huh.
Last thing I want to talk about though is Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris, she's growing on me. I'm still not all. It's something about her I just can't put a finger on. But Obama said a long time ago that the job of president and vice president is an actual job. Like, it's not just a position they get elected to, but once they get the job, they have to do the job. And that was our big beef about Trump, is he didn't just do the job. He just used it for his bully pulpit and then went golfing and ate McDonald's all day. I can't even be mad about that. I know your feelings about McDonald's, but I can't give it up yet. Anyway, I was talking about Kamala Harris. So, Kamala Harris, she did a great job they did the whole Paris Accord climate change thing. They all went overseas and they did their junket. And the European press loved her. Paris press loved her. Turns out she went to high school in Montreal. I learned some things. I love Twitter. She went to high school in Montreal, and there's this clip of her speaking fluent French. Like, she's like, just as well as you and I speak English. Like, she's doing great. So she did a great job over there. She did a lot of speeches over there. She did one about heat pumps, which was really, really crazy. But I mean, it's like really, really nerd stuff. It's not, well, it's vice president stuff. You know, the vice president gets all the stuff that the president doesn't even want to be bothered with, or like hands over to her. But she did this speech about heat pumps that everybody was like, yeah, we all need heat pumps to fight climate change. Like, everybody's on board with it. And then she comes back to America and the whole press trashes her. They're like, she, was speaking with a fake French accent, and she said the instead of the. I mean, it's like, or they give her no press at all. It's just like silence. They can't say anything good about her. So they're just not going to talk about her at all. But Kamala Harris is out here scoring points across the globe, at least as far as global leadership and actually getting ish done is concerned. So I have to give her credit for actually doing the job of vice president. She wakes up every day. She's getting her husband involved. Like, Doug Emhoff is, he has his role as the second gentleman, as they call him. And he's doing his gig. And I'm pretty sure that Jill Biden can give him some good pointers there. So I don't know. I didn't have a lot of things I thought about Kamala Harris, a lot of things I was told about Kamala Harris, a lot of bad press she got in the beginning. It was wrong. And so I'm just, as I learn more about her, it's like, but it's still that one indefinable sense of something I just can't feel. I can't get it. I felt the same way about Obama. Maybe I'm just hating. It could be true. It could be possible. So anyway, going to see Chappelle tonight. I'll let you know how it goes. I'll write about it tomorrow. And until then, I'll see you on the internet, Snake.
All right. Take it easy. That's Deborah Nesbitt. And she going to see Chappelle. I'm jelly. I mean, I could have gone, but maybe another time. Yeah, Kamala Harris is getting a lot of negative press. CNN, exasperation and dysfunction inside Kamala Harris's frustrating start as vice president 2 days ago. 17 hours ago, New York Post. Kamala Harris is a very weird person. Very weird person? They're all weird. Part of me feel like she getting more hate because she is sister of color. And when you're the first person of color in any position, you're gonna have to deal with a lot of BS. And it don't matter whether you're the first VP of the United States or you're the first CEO of the United Way of Cincinnati. When you're the first black anything in these leadership positions, there's never been one before you. You might have to deal with a whole lot of headwind and a whole lot of all the stuff that people got to deal with. And I'm not saying this is Deborah Nesbitt, but there are some women that just can't stand other women. I don't get it. There are some women that just can't stand other women. Can't stand them. And don't even know her. You got some dudes like this. Now, when it's a man, I read that as insecurity. Show me a man that just don't like another man for no good reason. It's something about that man that's making the man with the problem feel insecure. Is that the same thing with women? Do women get insecure about other women? Like, oh, she tall. Ooh, she light skinned. Ooh, she got this. Ooh, who she thinks she is? Ooh, she a doctor? Ooh, what, it's some women like that. It blows me away. I'm like, don't y'all got enough hate coming from every other direction and hate one another? But again, I'm not saying that shit, saying that's you, Deborah Nesbitt. I don't want that smoke from you this morning. I'm not here for it. But I'm just saying, where is the love? You telling me Kamala Harris is worse than Mike Stoneface lion-ass Pence? So, I don't know. And where is Drop at? Drop was calling in here every day for months. Biden ain't doing nothing. Biden ain't doing nothing. Biden ain't doing nothing. Biden's not going to do anything. What has Biden done? Nate, when has Biden done anything? When is Biden going to do anything? Biden don't have support from the infighting with the Democrats. Remember this? Oh, the progressive wing is running the whole Democrat Party. I kept telling this man, you're wrong about that. Oh, what is he going to do? Oh, his poll numbers. His poll numbers. Ever since Biden passed the historic, there's never been this kind of money for America's infrastructure spent in decades, upon decades, right? This is the largest investment, and it's bipartisan, the largest bipartisan investment into America's infrastructure that we've seen in our entire lives. He ain't got nothing to say. He don't have nothing to say. Where you at, Drop? He ain't getting away from this smoke. I'm about to call his ass. You be calling me every day. I'm about to call you, bro. I'm about to call you right now if you watching. So I hope don't fucking run. Don't run from this. Don't run from this. I'm calling him right now. Let's call Drop. Let's drop some science. Let's see if we got the courage to answer. Drop. If you don't answer, we're gonna leave a message and let this man know. He doing something. He watching. Let it go to voicemail, bro. Let it go to voicemail.
Nah, I'm here. What's up, bro?
Where you been, man?
What you mean where I'm been?
Yeah, I mean, where you been? We ain't heard from you in almost 2 days.
Oh, what?
Yeah, man. Ever since Biden passed that bill, that historic bipartisan infrastructure investment bill, once in a lifetime, generational bipartisan. Did I say bipartisan? Yeah. We ain't heard from you, bro. You okay?
Bro, I already voiced my opinion about that. Really? He wouldn't have got it. He wouldn't have got it done if it wasn't for those evil white supremacist Republicans.
Really? How many Republican votes they get? I bet you can count them on 2 hands.
No, bro. You need to call your girl Ayanna Presley. You need to call your girl AOC. You need to call your girl Cori Bush. You need to call your girl Ilhan Omar. Where the hell were they? They were not at the signing ceremony, Mr. Ivey. Where was the progressives? Because guess what? They failed Joe Biden, and Joe Biden had to run to these Republicans who are in toss-up districts like New York, New Jersey. So they voted for the infrastructure bill, and the media is trying to act like this was all Joe Biden. Mr. Ivey, I don't know if you saw the signing ceremony, but I just want to give a shout out to Deborah Nesbitt for bringing up Kamala I'm Black Y'all Harris, because Mr. Ivey, at the signing ceremony, after Joe Biden spoke, he walked over to the table and all these thirsty Democrats start gathering around. Joe Biden sits down, he pulls out the pen, he starts writing, and then out of the right side of the screen, here comes Kamala Harris trying to get into the picture, Mr. Ivey. And if you look at her body language, she was pissed. So again, I don't need to call your show every day, Mr. Ivey, because the truth is going to happen. Have you seen the latest polls that came out?
No.
Exactly. So like I told you on Monday, when I told you that the latest NBC, Washington Post,
ABC Washington Post poll had him in the 30s. Mr. Ivey, it's just bad for Joe Biden. Signing this infrastructure bill that required Republicans to get it passed is not going to help him, because guess what happens next, Mr. Ivey? Ask Iris Rowley. Ask all these community leaders across the country about what's going to happen when that money starts coming from Washington, D.C.
What?
Like, you know what's going to happen, what always
You just can't
happens.
give Joe Biden any credit, can you?
I'll give him credit, Mr. Ivey.
Let me hear it.
I'll give him credit where credit is due. And the only place he gets any credit for this infrastructure bill is the fact that he did not bow to the progressive wing. He shut them out completely.
Can you add one thing to it? He did what your president, the man you voted for twice, was unable to do.
And what's your point?
That is my point.
The
point. The point is that Biden did something that Trump, your guy, could never have done. He never did.
And you know why Biden was able to do it and Trump wasn't?
Because he's a better president?
No, because Republicans worked with Biden and Democrats did not work with Trump.
That's not true at all.
See, you don't want the truth.
That's not true at all.
You don't want the truth, Mr. Ivey, because you can't handle the truth.
That's not true at all.
That is the truth.
That is not the truth.
Why would I lie?
I don't think you're lying. I'm not calling you a liar, sir. You just might be misinformed.
No, I'm telling you, everything Trump did, he did it with because you got to remember, Mr. Ivey, he only had the majority for 2 years. That was it. That's how he was able.
2 years, he couldn't even galvanize Republicans to come up with a replacement for Obamacare.
Now, see, again, Mr. Ivey, why are we going backwards?
No, we're not. But when we bring these things up, the facts matter. That's all I'm saying. The facts matter.
Mr. Ivey, I am an experienced caller, okay? Sometimes I let you get away with stuff because it's your show. And I appreciate you giving me the airtime.
And I appreciate you letting me get away with stuff. But let me say this. In the future, don't ever let me get away with anything. Hold me accountable.
I don't have to, because you're not that guy. You're not that kind of host.
I'm just saying. If you ever feel that way, don't ever hold your tongue. Keep it 100.
Because every time I'm on my coon train, when you get on free, if you got your coon chips, and then if you get on and you don't have your coon chips, we'll subsidize your coon chips on the coon train. So every time I start rolling down the tracks,
I'm never on the coon train. Is that what the experience is like? I'm never on it.
Well, I can get you on, Mr. Ivey.
I'm not interested.
I could get you on the coon train.
I'm not interested. I'll walk.
The coon train is running full steam ahead, because every time the coon train starts heading in the right direction on the tracks, people like you start talking about the first gangster president.
I would argue that there is never a right direction if you're on the coon train. That's what I would argue. Whatever direction the coon train is going in, it's always the wrong direction. That's what I would say.
Well, again, Mr. Ivey, you look at that video, you look at Kamala Harris and her place in this current Biden administration. Kamala, and did you know, for the record, before I go, did you know, Mr. Ivey, that Kamala used to date Montel Williams?
I think I read that, really.
Yeah. Cool. Oh, Mr. Ivey. You need to start following the Black Not Democrat Twitter account. Mr. Ivey, I posted a video. It was from Tucker Carlson's show, because I didn't even know it.
So
I'm like, how the hell they keep this?
So what? I mean, she dated.
She was a thought, Mr. Ivey.
So she was a thought, or he was a thought. They was hooking up. Big deal.
No, she was a thought. She was young, up and coming, and you know how they do it. You hook on with somebody that's already got some clout.
Why are you trying to bring this woman down, call this woman a thought? She's the vice president of the United States.
You're the one that brought up Trump.
And you're the one that's bringing up her being a thought, in your opinion. That's two completely different things.
Back then, she was a thought. She was sleeping with a married man back then, Mr. Ivey. You remember what they used to say on the Housewives of Atlanta? Keep your legs closed to married men. And before I go, Kamala Harris, first Black vice president, married to a white guy. Susan Rice, the head of the urban whatever division of the Biden administration, married to a white guy. Do I need to go on, Mr. Ivey, about these black Democrat politician women married to the massa? What the hell's going on? Oh, but I forgot. The Democrats got all the good white folks. But Mr. Ivey, I was sitting here cooking me some chicken, getting ready to put the chicken in the oven, and here you gonna call me and interrupt my morning. But that's okay, Mr. Ivey. That's why I mess with your show. And your show has been outstanding this morning, Mr. Ivey. Outstanding. But you had to call me out.
Yeah, I did.
But that's all good. And you know who's gonna be mad now.
Who?
You already know who's gonna be mad. Glenn. He gonna be like, Nate, drop me recording, drop me doing this, Nate, drop this, drop that. Nate, how you gonna call him, Nate? Great, where you at, Glenn? Dog Squad 52, dropping science to anyone who wants to fact check. I love the Nathan Ivey Show. Peace out, brother.
Take it easy. Have a great morning. Why did I call that man? you just took over the show. That's fine though. But stop running, Drop. We'll put it like that. Stop running. You ain't got nothing good to say. If Trump had did the exact same thing, it'd be a big win for Trump's leadership. It wouldn't be about, he did it because of the Democrats. It'd be because Trump's a leader. So we'll see. We'll see what this Biden infrastructure, bipartisan, historic investment, generational investment in infrastructure actually means for us here in Hamilton County and in Cincinnati. All right, I got some more drama for you. You know I love the drama. This is some of that good gossip we got to get into just a little bit. This is for Akeem only. Akeem's gonna love that topic. But first, we're gonna take the phone call, then we'll take a break, and then I'll play this video for you. Good morning, welcome to the show.
Good morning, dear brother. How are you?
I'm doing well. Good morning and happy birthday.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that birthday love. I thank you to the Choppers for giving me all that birthday love. It's been a heavy week, and I just wanted to give just a small update if I could, Nathan. Sure. I know you missed we had a closed door session last night with elected officials around the collaborative agreement, policing, public safety, to get their collective understanding about the collaborative, the MOA, the refresh, the progress reports, all the things that have been done. And part of that strategy was to ensure that we're back to 2-year terms, that we don't have our new legislators come in creating, legislation that could impact the way that things are being done, meaning stuff like marijuana laws and things that sabotage the efforts to reduce arrests and ensure safety while we have police accountability at the same time, and providing them with all the materials so that no one has the effort of saying or the opportunity of saying they didn't read it, because most people always ask me, what's the collaborative say? And my favorite line to say to people is, I will send it to you and read it so you can get not just the spirit of the word, but the actual written word. And I think that went well. But I wanted just to offer up a suggestion to my community to say that these are ways that you can get at folk before, sworn in and all that great stuff, so that you have the opportunity of presenting what we really want to have in our community collective way without people not, doing several meetings at one time, multiple times, different times. And so we were able to do that and walk it through with myself, Al Gerhardt Steen, the attorney for the Cincinnati Black United Front, and the chief was there and his command staff, and to answer any questions. It wasn't just a conversation around, everybody singing Kumbaya. It's hard conversation. We're talking continuous improvement of the public safety apparatus, creating equity and transparency and accountability. And that's what the collaborative is about. But also, I hear you, you said you want to go see Dave Chappelle?
Yeah.
Mr. Ivey?
Yeah.
All right. Well, that shall happen for you today, sir. Just make the ask and it'll happen.
Okay.
So
I'll
someone
catch you
called and
afterward.
said Nathan said he wants to go. They have a ticket for you. Just give me a call later on and you should be there. Gates open, doors open at 5:30. Show starts at 7.
Okay. I appreciate you.
All right, dear brother. Just wanted to give that quick update as we move forward, making sure we have a collective effort around the collaborative to the chopper so that we continue to hold police accountable and do the things that we want them to do as taxpayers. All right?
All right. Thank you so much.
All right, dear brother. Thank you all. Appreciate it. Thank you so
Yes, sir.
much.
Looks like I might be seeing Dave Chappelle. Appreciate it. No, it knows to know people. I know people that know people. I appreciate it, but really just happy birthday to her. I appreciate it. A lot of well wishers. A lot of well wishers this morning. Yeah, you got to give people their flowers while they're here. And she had invited me to go to that meeting, and I wish I could have been there. I got tied up with family shit and daddy duties. Because, family always come priority first, and I just wasn't able to make it. But from what she told me they were planning to do, I thought smart. I'm like, mental note. I thought this is really, really smart. And so that's some of the work. I'm just sitting back learning from other people. I'm like, oh, so this is how you get things done. This is how you do things. So they were educating and sort of getting all the council members on the same page, right, before they actually sworn in, which is a very smart idea. It's a very smart idea. So we'll see what happens. Lisa writes, Miss Iris is the plug. She is. Jericho writes, look at what a black woman can do. You want to go, boom, you going. I keep telling these sisters out here doing it. That's why I speak from experience when I talked about Daryl writes, Sister Iris hooked the brother up. Yes, she did. And it's her birthday. I should be hooking her up. You already know. You already know. You already know. Absolutely. King's still making points. He think he really saying something. That's what's so funny. He think he really saying something. That's hilarious. Oh boy. Would you call Biden a moderate or progressive? I would call him a moderate. Oh, she's talking to Brian. I would say a moderate. That's what I would say. I'm more of a progressive. I was more of a Bernie guy. I just felt like Bernie was going to go in here and point some new people to these positions and do something different. Pamela writes, who cooks chicken at 6 a.m.? He Drop live in California. He's already told us he gets marijuana packaged to his house, to his front door. You walk out there, he got cannabis sativa. He got purple Urkel. So Drop, you know what he doing. He up early, he high, and he hungry now. And so now he frying him up some chicken at 6 a.m. in the morning. Because that's what time it is in California. They're 3 hours behind us. So he up at 6:20 a.m. in the morning frying up chicken. Now, you know he high. He kicking back. He getting his day started. He checking out the flows. Again, I don't care. Nobody say Drop is my man. I love me some Drop. He support me. I support him 100%. And he gonna listen to this show and then go on to listen to his other shows during the day. He gonna do his podcast. He gonna promote his brand, Black Not Democrat. Like, say what y'all want about Drop, but Drop out here got his own brand. Telling you, I would not be surprised at all. I'll be very happy for him when it blows up. 200,000-300,000 followers. Black Not Democrat Army. And that man is gonna be the general of the Black Not Democrat Army. Matter of fact, I'm gonna start calling him General Drop. General Drop Squad. He is the leader of the Black Not Democrat Army. You can go ahead and use that. Feel free, brother. Whatever it takes, man. Just don't forget the little people when you get there. That's all I ask. Or maybe you do. It's up to you. Nikki writes, that's what explains his nonsense first thing. Too high, can't think straight. Brian writes, but since the Democratic Party continues to march to the right, now his stances are considered moderate. Yeah, I'm trying to march to the left, not to the right. Victoria writes, that was very giving of Mrs. Rowley. Yep, I think so too. King writes, just imagine if you missed Iris' call today, talking about the baby, you would have missed that free ticket. No, the conversation had nothing to do with the call. I just hadn't plugged in something that I need to take phone calls. And by the time I did, I think she had moved on with her day. So it had nothing to do with the conversation. Just like this morning, we talked about Chris Tucker and other things. And, I'm always down for a community update any day of the week. So we took the phone call. Let me take a quick break. And then I want to talk about some drama. some drama between these two people. Have you seen this video? Oh boy. Trouble in Paradise, Stevie J and Faith. Now, what you really think about Faith? Be honest with you, I always believed those rumors about her and Tupac. I always believed it. It's just something about the way she looked. I believe it. Now that's a married couple right there. And this video and this audio hit the internet within the last 24 hours. And let's just say it's not good. There will be some extreme language, but we'll get to all of that in just a minute. First, let's get a word in from today's sponsor, the good folks over at the Ohio State of Emergency.com. Check this out.
Can't sleep.
It's hard to pay attention in school.
I say mean things.
I keep getting in trouble.
I bully other kids.
I'm just scared.
No one sees my pain.
Sometimes I want to die.
So many of our children are facing trauma, but instead of seeing their pain and fear, we're labeling them bad, troubled, delinquent, or criminal. Let's look beyond their behaviors. Let's get them the help they need by helping them address the trauma they're facing.
Help me feel safe.
See me for more than my behaviors.
Understand that my actions are how I communicate my fears.
For more information, visit www.ohiostateofemergency.com. That's ohiostateofemergency.com.
Stateofemergency.com. And I want to remind you that those spots are sponsored by our friends over at Renew Community Church. Speaking of which, they've got a brand new live series. They go live every Sunday at 11:45 a.m. approximately. This week, how to keep from losing your mind. Learn how to focus and be happy. I think that's something that almost anybody can get something out of it. Learning how to focus and be happy. This Sunday at 11:45 a.m. via Facebook, you can tap in at Cincy Renew. That's CINCI Renew. If you're on YouTube or you want to tap in on YouTube, go to their YouTube channel at Renew Community Church live stream. Renew Community Church live stream. All right. Good morning to you. All right, let me play this video. This is completely off the wall. I don't really have any kind of deeper point or anything I want to make to it. This is just some drama in the morning. And I'm here for the drama as long as it's not in my family business or my business. I'm here for it. This is some good old-fashioned Stevie J drama. And the caption read that Stevie J called his wife sexing up another dude. Now, there is extreme language in this, and I want to give you a heads up. What time is it? 9:25. Oh, okay. If your kids are in school right now, oh, they incorrigible. They smoking and drinking. They doing all kind of stuff. They should be in school right now. They cursing. They're using the N word and the B word and the F word, all the words, the S word, all the word, making up new words. They incorrigible little kids. The kids should be in school by 9:25. If they're not, they're already watching far worse than what I'm about to play for you, so it's okay. All right? This is just drama. Check this out.
No. Please move out the way. No. God damn. We live. It's cool. We live. They see. I hate you. Please leave me alone. Please, I hate you. We live. I hate you. It's cool. We live. It's cool. Shit. Too. I ain't going nowhere. Fuck you too. I hate you too. Good. But we in the business. You. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. You is only in my own house, bitch. You bitch. You bitch. You in my house. You. I heard you. So you happy about it,
Mm-hmm.
Huh? You are? That's what you like to do? How can you disrespect me, though? I ain't do nothing to you. All I did was love you. And you do that to me? How can you do that to me? But how can you do it to me, though? But how can you do that to me? How can you somebody on me?
Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Get your hand off of me. Get your hands off of me.
Somebody on me?
Get your hands
somebody
off
on me?
of me.
When I'm
Get
watching
your hand
you in
off
the
of
sun
me,
every
please.
day.
Get your hands off of me.
I'm asking you.
Please.
But
Stop.
how can
Just
you somebody on me?
Stop.
How can you somebody
Fuck.
on me? You can do whatever. You can scream as you want to.
Jesus, go somewhere.
Fuck. No, I ain't going
Fuck out of
nowhere.
here. Here you go with your dumb shit.
No, you.
Grow the fuck up. This is what I don't want to be bothered with.
I don't
Get
want
the
to
fuck
with
out.
you too.
Sorry about that. He said no sound. I'm just talking. Thank you so much, TNT. So let me go reiterate everything I just said. So I think I used to watch. So if you don't know, that was Stevie J, and he used to be a producer for P. Diddy. He got really, really big because he was on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, and his storylines were just so, they were like the major storylines for the show. He's like one of the biggest names to come from that whole franchise. And that's Faith Evans. Um, she used to be with Biggie, of course, you know, the controversy about her and Tupac and all this kind of stuff. And you know, I don't know if she's touring or not, but she was talented. She was definitely talented. And they've been married for, I don't know, a year or so together now. And looks like things are coming to an end. He recorded her after he thought that she had been with another dude. And I don't know how I would deal with that. I mean, I think that's very disrespectful. Like if you're dating a married woman, I mean, some might say that's disrespect off the top, but it depends on the scenario. But to be at another person's house, that's on another level right there. You know what I'm saying? That's on another level. So let's say you come home and you find your wife was in bed with another dude. How do you react to it? This is your home. I can see a man flipping the hell out and doing whatever. I mean, this is your home. It's one thing to be with your wife, but you can't really control what another person do. But to be in your home, in your bed where you lay your head, that's just another violation right there. I mean, you got to have some kind of rules to any game, even when you're doing dirt. It's not just the dirt, it's how you do your dirt. So if that's what she was doing, she wrong off the top. But it sounds like what I was gleaning is they might be headed towards Splitsville, sad to say. You know, when a woman start talking like that, it's like, it ain't good. She sound like she is fed up with some Stevie J. That's what it sounds like. Crystal writes, dang, I have to watch that again. Yeah, I've seen it like 3 or 4 times now. Deborah writes, can we talk about how Lil Kim still ain't right in the head after Biggie and Faith dogged her? I don't know if he really dogged her. Like, you can't force somebody to be with you. And then the other thing is that whole thing about commitment and relationships, that shit is a variable. It's not a constant. You know, people change. You know, somebody might take a vow this day, and then at sometime in the near future, they might grow to resent taking those vows, or their feelings could completely change. Marriage or engagement rings, it don't trump the way a person's gonna feel and what they're gonna do. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna trust shit. Man, don't just trip and fall in the pee, right? Men just don't trip. That's right. That's right. They're right. She sounds like she done with him. She do. When she sound like she done with him. She sound like she done. Especially like, check it out. Let's say he did just catch her. That's what she's saying to him. Yo, Stevie J, it's time to roll, right? Like you catch your wife in bed with another dude, and that's her response. She says that to you. She done, B. She done. I ain't hear no apologies. Ain't wasn't no explanation. You know, he starts saying F you, F you. She's like, I heard you. You know, when a woman says that, that means she done. Ladies, can y'all jump in here and can we get an amen on this? Great. I mean, I'm looking for the women. Give me your thoughts about how your sister was conducting herself in that very intimate moment right there. Or y'all gonna start caping. Y'all love to cape up when a sister do something wrong. But I can't say who's wrong or who's right. I don't know enough. Susan Rice doesn't mean that she's actually guilty. She's just done not defending herself. I don't know. Fellas, I don't know. I mean, maybe he was trying to get a confession on video and he thought that he could use this in the court proceedings or something like that. I don't know, but there's a right time and a wrong time to jump out with the video. There's a right time and a wrong time. I'm not really sure if that was the right time right there. Nikki Rice, she was done when she invited another man to her bed. Carmelita writes, I heard he already filed for divorce. I heard that as well. TNT writes, I don't know what happened. Hashtag women don't cheat. Micah writes, she's over it. Clearly. Micah writes, she's over it. Clearly, he's not talking. He's not taking the hint. Jerica writes, or to Jerica, gonna give you 1,000,000 amens. I don't know. Don't talk for Jerica. She can speak for herself. Brenda writes, you catch him in your house. You catch him in your house, in your, what is that? In your something, the nerve. Jerica writes, I don't know their situation, but we've seen is this Stevie is a known cheater. I'm sure she's dealt with a lot from him, but she's done with him. Yeah, that from my male brain, from the way she reacted, she done with B. She done with homie. She done with buddy. It's a wrap, buddy. He can just wrap it up. She done. I don't know what she did, if she did anything. I'll let them figure that all out, but just a little bit of drama. Like, drama is good when it's not in your business or your family. Tell me I'm wrong. I am right. I am right. I'm here for it. Good morning to you. Women don't cheat my ass. Oh, the bed, right. Zero respect. Robert writes, she may have just been sleepy. Crystal writes, zero respect. Nikki writes, he is known to cheat. He is. That was his reputation. Yeah, that's another level right there. What I would tell men is, if you've been good to her and she dog you out, just grab your stuff, fold your stuff up. You ain't got to argue. You ain't got to throw nothing. Grab your things up as hard as it's going to be. Keep your feelings to yourself. Don't say nothing. You don't have to say a word. Grab your stuff, fold everything up really nice, and just make your plans to live the rest of your life without this person. Jerica writes, that's that I don't have no more fight in me tone that Faith gave. Yeah. David writes, women cheat. That's just less likely to get caught. Trust and believe. I got saved later in life. Yeah, women are the best cheaters. Absolutely, by far. Michael writes, he's getting his karma. Could be. Let me peruse a little bit here. I was going to read these to you. So, yeah, I got a couple of direct messages. People was mad at me about my Joe Madison take, as if I didn't support that brother. So let me just say it again for anybody that might have missed it or you got it wrong. I support anybody to support us. And I like Joe Madison's show. I think that he is a pioneer in that industry. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad he's still around, speaking that speak. I'm glad. But that is not a hunger strike. And I'll just leave it like that. I'm not trying to go over and over and over again with it. It is what it is. I said what I said and I meant it. Jocelyn and Mimi somewhere gloating, LOL, right. Nikki writes, women don't cheat, Nate. That ain't true. That ain't true at all. Not one bit. Women are just way better at cheating. Because I think women are better at cheating because men are naturally more honest than women. And that's why men get caught. Because men are more naturally, I did it and it is what it is, and you're going to have to deal with it. And women will do some ish and go to their grave. Nobody will ever know. She'll just have this quiet thing going on, right? And you'll never know about it. And then that's how it is. And men in generally are way more honest than women when it comes to that kind of thing. Way more honest. And I think it's just the way men naturally are. You know what I'm saying? I think it's just the way men naturally are. God made us in a way that when it comes to that kind of thing, we don't really want to lie about it. You know what I'm saying? We want you to know because we don't really feel like we're doing nothing wrong on some biological level. And then men's brains are more like, I did it and boom, deal with it. And women will take it to their grave. Jerica writes, what's funny is men go off in a butthurt when they get cheated on, but when they cheat on us, we're supposed to understand that something must be wrong and feel guilty for it. Depends. It depends on what it is. Carmelita writes, men are just bad liars, but there's a reason why men are bad liars. And the reason why is because we are intrinsically just biologically wired to be honest about certain things. And that's one thing that men are biologically wired to just naturally want to be honest about it. Women, I think, are naturally wired to not be honest about certain things. And that's why women are better liars. That's what you just said. Women are better liars, much better liars. Jerica writes, I call BS. Men are not naturally more honest about cheating. Y'all just can't cheat right. Y'all can't lie. That's because women are naturally better liars. You don't want to put it that way because as a woman, it makes women look a certain way. But that's the truth. That's why y'all get caught less. Y'all better at it. But you got to ask yourself, why? Why are women better liars? And I think it's just the way that we're wired. Men are just wired. I did it. Yeah, I did that. And women are wired the exact opposite. Come on, be honest. Be honest. Be honest, Jerica. You're always coming at me. When you going to hold your sisters accountable? Okay? Hold your sisters accountable. Come on, I call BS. Men are not naturally more honest about cheating. Y'all just can't cheat right, and y'all lie and can't lie, which means that women are better cheaters and better liars. That's the other part of what you're saying, sis. Can we admit this before we roll out of here? Oh, I want to hear this. Jerica writes, when God tells me that women are wired to lie, I'll believe it. We are just more critical thinkers than men, i.e., women are better liars. Y'all better liars. Y'all better at holding secrets of a certain nature than men. Because men, I think, are just more intrinsically honest about certain things. This is just me. Nikki's like, don't do it, Jerica. Jerica writes, I hold sisters accountable all the time when needed. Really? Really? I don't. Really? Deborah writes, bad logic, Nate, coming from a woman. I'm sure that coming from a female perspective, you would say I have bad logic. I know. Deborah writes, no, men lie to themselves. Okay. Brent writes, according to Kevin Samuels, men don't cheat. They're just exercising their options. Nat writes, all these old tropes are done. Women are just as savage as men. No, women are more savage than men. If honesty equals stupid, then yes, men are more honest. See? So now look at what she just did. Instead of just saying that men are more honest, she got to equate it to being stupid. See how they do us? So we don't even give him props for being honest. Gosh darn it. Trying so hard not to curse. Crystal writes, y'all on point. Both of y'all are right. Nikki writes, Nate, that's lies. Okay. I could go on for days and days. I love being with you every single morning, but I got to make a move. Before we go, I just want to remind you once again that there's an opportunity this Sunday at 11:45 a.m. And if you're on Facebook, I want you to tap in and check it out. How to keep losing your mind. Learn how to focus and be happy. This Sunday at 11:45 a.m. from our friends over at Renew Community Church. You can tap in on Facebook at Cincy Renew, CINCI, Renew, and on YouTube at Renew Community Church live stream. Jericho writes, y'all admit once caught. Some women don't even admit when they caught. TNT writes, no women are honest. Side piece can't wait to tell your wife or your girl and blow up the spot. Men will smile in each other's face while taking down your woman. Hashtag women don't cheat. Okay, we'll go with that this morning. Hey, listen, have an excellent rest of your Wednesday. Tap in the Midday Juice today at 1 p.m. with Ask Ashley. Keep your eyes on what we're doing here with CDM. Always looking to expand and work with new podcasters and live streamers, i.e. creatives that are in the greater Cincinnati area. I'll be back and hopefully better than ever with you tomorrow morning, bright and early. Until then, have an excellent day. And remember our motto. Winners focus on winning. And losers focus on winners. So stay focused and stay winning. And we'll talk real soon. Until next time, I'm Nathan Ivey, and I'm out.
Yeah. Talking to my mirror like I love you so much. Curving on my critics like I heard you, so what? You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. Tally all the I ever gave on my head. Lately I've been living like I can't take a loss. They ain't wanna help me, that's what made me a boss. You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. We don't give a that's what they don't understand. I'm back again like flu season. I broke records while loose leafing. I'm coming down my roof, leaving. Don't give a I don't care. Did the for my lonesome. No wonder now I'm on one. No shortcuts on that long run. All I really want is my share. Get on my gut, I might tell them it's nothing. In the discussion, for them feelings I throw on my pain.